Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome to another gambling/strategy video, and this one I'm calling Logbooks until Mageblood. So just like the name suggests, I did in fact get the Mageblood, as you can see here in this clip, but the question here is not if I did get the Mageblood, but was it worth it to get it. So how much time did it took me to run all of the logbooks, how much money I had to spend on them and the Astragalis, and so on. So that's what I am gonna try to answer today. So first thing, what I'm gonna look at is how I was running my logbooks. So I was buying the Druids of the Broken Circle on TFT for 30C each, and then I always am looking at the layouts first when I'm running them. So the best layout in my opinion, the one that I like the most, is the Forest Ruins, so that always takes the priority for me, and I hate the Sarn Slums, Rotting Temple and Mountainsides. These are three the worst layouts, but still, if you don't have a choice, just like in this one, you still should go for the Mountainside, even though there is Shipwreck Reef with Order of the Chalice, because you have to go for Druids to get the artifact required for the gambling, for the Mageblood. So all of the other layouts do not matter that much, and also the implicit do not matter that much. Again, just ignore the Mountainside, Rotting Temple and the Sarn Slums if you can. And after I got my logbooks, then I would look at the area that I want to run, which in this case is Mountainside, and then I would roll the implicit with Bless Orbs. But this one already is at 40% quantity of artifacts, so I would keep it so I don't have to reroll it. And the value I would go for is at least, I would say, 70% of the possible outcome. So here I would stop at around 30%, maybe 35%. And after that, I would roll them with Alchemy. I am not like 100% sure how quantity of logbooks affect the logbooks themselves, but I am always running them rare, and I am pretty sure it increases the loot that you're gonna get from them. And obviously I would look at the mods that I can run, and with my build, which is Auto Bomber, I can run most of the mods. The only ones I can't run is monsters have a 70% chance to avoid elemental ailment. I can still run it, but it would be a pretty bad one. And also monsters, I mean, you can't leech life from monsters. Okay, and then I would just choose the zone and run the logbook. I'm not gonna give like a full guide, an example of a logbook. I've done already plenty of videos on logbooks, so you can watch my previous ones. But the most important things that you need to know is that when you are placing the explosive, let's say on this remnant, it's only gonna affect the explosions from this time, from these explosions, and any future ones. So if I, let's say, place first one here and then second one here, these monsters are not gonna be affected by this one. But if I do it in different order, so first one it's gonna be here and then here, then it's gonna affect it. And obviously you also have to avoid the mods that you can't do, and with my Auto Bomber I actually can't do monsters cannot be shocked, so I would ignore this one. So first thing I would do is I would run around the map and look for the good remnants, which I believe the best ones are quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters, not to mistake it with quantity of items dropped by monsters. That's a different one. Let me see if I can find one. Runic monsters have a chance to drop stack decks is also a decent one. And this is why I don't like this layout, because it's very big map, so it takes a long time to search for the remnants. Also, you don't have to like absolutely search for them, but this is just something I prefer to do. So now I found quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters, so now I know this is the place I'm gonna start my logbook at, because again, the remnants only affect the explosions from the point that you destroy the remnant, and from that point on. So I would go like here, here, maybe a little bit further, and now I would go for the remnants, and then I would go for all of the skulls, because skulls are the runic monsters, and the remnant says quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters, so you want to get them so you can get the Astragalis and artifacts. Also, these blue chests also are dropping the artifacts, but they can't drop the Astragalis. This is why this is a higher priority. Quantity of artifacts dropped by monsters, not quantity of artifacts dropped by chests, which is also decent, but I don't care about it that much. So again, I would finish placing the explosives everywhere, just go for the chests and the monsters, and that's it. And then I would kill all of the monsters. So now let's look at the profit and what I got from the logbook. So first thing, here is the quad tab. I actually got full almost full two quad tabs of loot, but I did exclude all of the cheap stuff, like cheap contracts. I only left the deception ones. I did exclude all of the bad divination cards. I only kept 3, and I did upgrade all of the essences up to deafening, except for the dread ones, and I also kept some of the shrieking ones. So yeah, this is all of the loot that I got, and I also excluded all of the maps below tier 16. And here are all of the uniques that I got from gambling with Gwennen. And as you can see here, I only have the elegant round shields, which are gambling for Squire, and only heavy belts, which means I actually was not going for the leather belts, which are possibilities to get a Headhunter. And the reason why I decided to go for only heavy belt is that when you are buying with Gwennen and you are buying the jewelry, which are belts, you are always gonna buy them for grand artifacts, and the shields you are buying for lesser, so you don't really care about buying extra shields. So I would always buy the shields that can turn into the squires, but because these share the same artifacts with heavy belts, I wanted to just have more chances to get the Mageblood, and Mageblood is 330x right now, and the Headhunter is only around 100x, so it's definitely better to go for Mageblood if you can. And also I believe chances to get Headhunter are lower than getting the Mageblood, so I just wanted to do less logbooks. Obviously you're gonna have to spend more money on Astragalis if you are gonna go just for the Mageblood, but you're not gonna have to spend as much time doing the logbooks. And this is actually what I did last week. Last week I did similar test, but I also was going for the Headhunter, so I'm gonna be able to compare the outcomes. Okay, so that's it when it comes to the loot. Now let's actually look at the spreadsheet. So I did have to spend 8,899 Astragalis, and I did get my Mageblood, I believe, at 8,500. And if you compare it to last week I got it at 8,000. But I also had some extra Astragalis, so I did roll last week up to 10,000 and I didn't get anything. So I did spend 8,000 Astragalis last time, this time only 8,899. And I was buying them for 3 chaos, and I also did drop 1,900, so I only had to buy a little bit less than 7,000, and it took me 17 hours to run the logbooks. And this actually includes all of the trading and rolling the logbooks time, which is something I never do with my strategies, because I believe trading time is kinda subjective depending on how you are buying things. If you're gonna buy them on trade, if you're gonna buy them on TFT, and if you're gonna buy them in bulk or by one by one, you're gonna spend less or more time. So I don't really like to include trading time in my test, but this time I did it because I was just buying like 10 or 20 logbooks, then I would roll them, and then I would run them, gamble with Gwennen, and then if I didn't get the Mageblood, I would buy another 10 or 20, roll them again, and so on. So I did include all of that time. Okay, so I had to run 100 logbooks. I did spend 300 bless orbs, some alchemies and scours. I actually didn't have to reroll logbooks that much because I can do most of the mods. And again, almost 7,000 Astragalis, which I was buying up for up to 3C. I actually did buy quite a lot of them for 2.8C, but I decided to just round it up to 3C per one. So I did spend 167 exalts, and most of the cost is just Astragalis. And when we look at the loot, I did get pretty much 5000 C just from the loot, from the logbooks themselves, and Mageblood, which I am pricing at 320x right now, which is 46,000 chaos. So minus the cost of all of the Astragalis, I did profit 188 exalts, which, if you look at it not as the gamble but as the strategy, I did make 11x per hour. So the reason why you can look at kinda as a gamble and kinda as a strategy is because most of the gambles are you just buy things and you identify items like water eyes or precursor emblems, or you go do double corruptions, or maybe some harvest divination card gambles, and these things don't take that much time. But this, as you can see here, it took 17 hours. So you can look at it kind of as a strategy, and you should expect to eventually get the Mageblood. And I would say the average to get the Mageblood is probably somewhere between 5 and 10,000 Astragalis, probably more towards the 10,000. And if we would change the amount of Astragali I had to buy to 10,000, it's definitely still worth it, but obviously it would not be as great of a profit per hour. And even if I did have to spend, let's see how much I would have to spend, so 15,000, if I got it at around 15,000, then I would pretty much not really make that much money. But obviously I would also drop a little bit more Astragalis on my own, because I would have to do more logbooks and so on. Now let's actually compare it to my previous league. So in previous league, again, I was rolling for Mageblood and a Headhunter, so it took me 27 hours in total, so more time. And this is actually also without trading. So with trading and rolling, it would probably be more around 30 hours or something, and I had to do 228 logbooks. But because of that, I did drop more Astragalis, so I had to buy less if we compare the amount of Astragalis I had to buy this time. So I did spend actually I did spend more money last time, but that's only because Astragalis were more expensive. As you can see here, 3.7C per Astragalis, now it's only 3C. And also logbooks were 45C, now it's only 30C. So you're gonna spend less money doing this gamble now, but also Mageblood back then was 360 exalts. And I did profit 9.4x per hour, and then last time I did get my Mageblood at 8,000 reroll, but here I am counting 10,000. So the profit is pretty much the same. It doesn't really matter too much if you're gonna go for both Headhunter and Mageblood. Last time I also didn't get the Headhunter, and if you're gonna do it for longer, you should expect to eventually get it, which is gonna cover some of the cost. So in my opinion, just do what you want, go for it or don't go for it. And I just personally didn't want to do that many logbooks, so I opted out of doing the gambling for the Headhunter. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'm happy I did get one pretty fast, I would say. 8,000 again is, in my opinion, probably a little bit less than the average, so I am happy with the results. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.